everyone, this is Dawn. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this card using the stamp set called Scrappy Lady. So most people would look at this stamp set and think scrapbook pages, but I'm going to make a couple of cards for retreat roommates. So I think it's perfect. So I'm going to use some cardstock in Desert Rose, Peach, White Daisy, and maybe some Bluebird, along with some papers from Isabella. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to cut some White Daisy, just the exact width of the large stamp. So that's about 3 3/4 by 5. And then I'm going to layer it with Desert Rose. So I'm just cutting the Desert Rose a smidge larger. So like 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, so that I can have a teensy tiny border around the White Daisy piece. And then I'm going to cut this chevron paper from Isabella at 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. So it's going to be the base of my card. So it's a large image that's going to be on my card. I'm going to bring in my Misty, and I've mounted the Scrappy Lady sitting at her table. That image in my Misty. I like to use my Misty for the large stamps because if you miss a spot, then you can stamp again and catch that extra space that is missed. But I managed to do it the first time this time, so looks great. Okay, so we'll get that out of the way. And then I'm going to flip my Versamat over to the soft side for stamping. And now I'm going to stamp all of these fun little images that come in this stamp set. So there's a lamp, and then there's a little cup with paintbrushes in it, and a couple of books that could be scrapbooks. And then a fun Argyle pattern that I'm going to use as well. So I'm just stamping everything in black ink because I'm going to be coloring these images in with my tri-blend markers. So I'm just creating a scene with my little stamps. And then I thought I was going to be able to put my sentiment in the white space, but that's not going to work, so I have a fix for that. So I'm going to bring in some peach paper, cardstock, and I'm going to use the light side, and I'm going to cut it just exactly at the size that I need to fit this sentiment. So it's about 1 1/2 by 2. Okay, so I'm going to pop that on the front of the card, and I'm also going to dovetail it. So I thought at first I wanted to use black to stamp my sentiment, but then I changed my mind and decided to use Bluebird. So I'm going to stamp Scrappy Lady, making sure I'm getting good coverage of ink on my image. And then I have part of the sentiment from the Smiles from the Garden stamp set that says "Hello Friend," and I just want the hello. It's very close to the same font as the lady, so I thought it would work. So I'm using this 3M tape. It's like sticky notes, and I stamped the full sentiment on that, and then I cut off the word friend, and I'm going to use that to mask. And then I will only be stamping the word hello onto my little sentiment piece. Sometimes I'll cut my stamp, but the hello friend, they seemed a little too close together to get a clean cut, so I decided to use the masking technique instead. So I'm going to dovetail this piece, and it's going to be a really shallow dovetail, and the easiest way is just to snip in the middle and then take each of those corners to meet that snip. So I'm just laying everything out to make sure everything's going to fit, and I think I need to take just a little sliver off the edge of that piece so it's not covering up my Scrappy Lady image. And I think that's going to work. I'm kind of playing around with where I want it to sit on my card, and I think I like that. Okay, so now I'm going to add, I'm deciding still, a few extra things on my card. There's this argyle pattern, so I'm going to stamp it at the top in, first the solid diamonds are going to be in peach, and I'm just going to stamp it across the top. And then over that, the little dotted X image, to create the argyle pattern, I'm going to stamp in desert rose. So I'll create my little pattern across the top of the card. I was going to do this pattern at the bottom of this white daisy piece too, but I didn't have enough space, so I think it works. Okay, and then I have these fun little, I don't know what they are, they're dots, and they're just interesting images that I'm going to stamp around my Scrappy Lady in Bluebird ink. Okay. So now I'm going to bring in my tri-blend markers, and I'm just choosing a few to get started with, and through the magic of video, I have her all colored in. Okay, so now we're ready to start assembling the card. I have a regular A2 card base that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm just going to attach that base piece with Tombow. I wound up not using any of the Bluebird cardstock. I thought my layering, this was enough. And then I'm just going to attach my image to the desert rose piece, and then I'll add that to the front of the card. So I have just a little bit of that chevron all around bordering my image. And then I'll pop my sentiment with some thin foam tape. And we'll put that up in the corner. Okay, and because I always have to add a little extra bling, I have these clear clear sparkles, teensy tiny sparkles, and I'm going to add those to the little Bluebird image all around, scattered around my Scrappy Lady. That's a fun stamp set. And of course you can use them for scrapbooking layouts to scrapbook pictures of you and all of your friends doing crafty things. So here are a few close-ups of the card. And all of these supplies are currently available in my online store. I'll make a list with links in the description below, and you can go shopping at the URL in the upper right corner of your screen. So I appreciate you watching my video today. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. And thanks for watching.